The first item on the agenda is the agenda itself. I'll ask if there's anyone from the board who wishes to make alterations or additions to the agenda. Seeing none, are there any objections to approving the agenda as presented? Seeing none, the agenda stands approved by consent. Next item is the proceedings from the February 2016 board. Are there any board members wishing to offer edits or modifications to the proceedings? None. Is there any objection to accepting those proceedings as presented? Seeing none, those are accepted by consent. The next item is public comment. I'm not aware of, no one has signed up for public comment. We'll offer the opportunity for anyone in the public to make comments to this board to items not on the agenda. Seeing none, we can move right into item 4, which is the opportunity for the board to address specifications for the 2017 fishing year, which begins May 1st. The board, under the operational FMP addendum, can make changes to those specifications by board action if they choose to do so. I'm not aware of anyone expressing an interest, a priority to do that. We'll have a presentation from Ashton on where things stand with the New England Council, State Waters, sub-ACLs, and so on.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Okay, so this is a very quick presentation on the current winter flounder specifications and what the board can change moving forward for the 2017 fishing year. So just as a review, so the board can adjust for recreational measures, the size limit, bag limit, and season. For commercial measures, the board can adjust the size limit, season, trip limit, trigger trip limit, and area closures. The 2016 recreational measures were for the Gulf of Maine were 8 fish, 12 inches, and there was not a specific season that was set. It was just year-round. The Southern New England, Mid-Atlantic winter flounder recreational measures were 2 fish, 12 inches, and the season was March 1st through December 31st. For the commercial measures, the size limit remains 12 inches. There are some closures, and then there's, for the Gulf of Maine, there's a maximum of 500 pounds per trip per day. For the Southern New England stock, it's a maximum of 50 pounds per trip per day, which is really intended to be just bycatch of winter flounder. And so when you kind of stack these up against how the regulations have changed year over year, it's that they haven't really. So the measures I just showed you for 2016 have all been in place in its entirety since 2014, and some of these measures go back to even 2005. And so anything in blue is implemented in 2005 via Amendment 1. In yellow is in 2009 implementation. Green is 2012 implementation. And then in red was implemented in February of 2014. So those are the main things about the current management measures. As Mark alluded to, the New England Fisheries Management Council did kind of discuss changes to the state subcomponents. Those were suggested to the council, and the council decided that they wanted to keep the status quo state subcomponents. So they are the same as they were last year, the same as when we made 2016 specifications. So they just read them. Okay, so they stand up for Gulf of Maine winter flounder. The state subcomponent is 122 metric tons, and for Southern New England Mid-Atlantic winter flounder, the state subcomponent is 70 metric tons. And these, well, I did not prepare a slide specifically for that, but this is in the briefing document that was submitted in briefing materials. So it's in a Word doc, and it's on the very first page. There's a table 1. So with that, I would take questions on any of the current management measures or any questions on the state subcomponent as they are now.
Okay. Questions for Ashton? Seeing none. My question is, and I can't remember for either Ashton or my council colleagues, I believe we have a set of operational assessment updates for all the groundfish stocks coming, probably being worked on maybe as we speak, or the working groups are getting organized. If that's correct, it would seem we would have a stronger informational basis after those reports are received a year from now in terms of considering changes to our state waters specifications. Terry, is that the right schedule? We're going to see results of those in the fall this year and affect specifications for 218. Thank you. With that, is there anyone wishing to discuss specifications for the 217 fishing year? Any motions to make adjustments? Yes, Doug Groh.
No motions, Mr. Chair, but I did want to make a comment that that since we're going to be having a operational assessments and the council will be setting 3-year specifications next year, it might be worth this board considering, or at least the possibility of setting multi-year specifications, since we really haven't been changing our specifications, rather than having to come have this meeting just for the purpose of affirming we don't want to make any changes, that if there's some mechanism that we can put in play that we would set multi-year specifications, it might make us a little more efficient. It doesn't mean we couldn't come back if something drastic happens in between, but just a thought to throw into the heads of the board.
Thank you, Doug. Ashton, could you comment on whether our current addendum allows for that, or we need an action to initiate an action to allow for that?
So all I was going to say, and Tony might follow up, is that just in Addendum 3, it allows the board just to kind of make the specifications by board. Usually they have to be done by an addendum, a new addendum, so I don't think it would preclude the fact that they could be 3-year specifications.
I need to double check the language in the document if we have multiple year specifications in there or not. I don't remember off the top of my head. I can get back to you. 2 seconds.
Thanks. You okay with that, Doug? We'll look into it, and we don't need an answer today. We could consider it next time around. It seems to make some sense, and we can check on what allowance we have, or if we need to make some adjustments to allow for that. Thank you. Anything else from the board? David Board.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a comment that I hope that when we get the new specifications that the Commission can make more of an effort to try to align the state and federal regulations. Right now there's a major disconnect, and I just don't think the arrangement is working in the best interest of the stock. So I hope we take that up next year. Thank you.
Thank you for that, David. Anyone else wishing to comment on this, Tony?
My 2 seconds are up. You have the ability to do 3-year specifications.
We have that ability currently. Okay. That's good to know. So where we are right now is the specification will remain intact for the next fishing year, groundfish fishing year, beginning May 1st, 2017. We'll receive operational assessment updates later this year. A year from now, we'll be in a position to contemplate changes, including fixing them for a longer period than 1 year. So that's where we're at. Anything else from the board on specifications, or anything on winter flounder in general? Seeing none, I think our business is concluded. Is there a motion to adjourn? Moved and seconded by everybody. We stand adjourned. Thank you. Good luck with lobster.
Since we got done early, we'll start the lobster board at 1 o'clock. It's going to